kasukanya mtima ngoro ke yondebe o ayo mwana wake kasukanya mtima ngoro ke yondebe o Jabare boru shengo baba Jabare boru shengo Jabare boru shengo baba Jabare boru shengo
nami mtakuwa unaendelea vizuri pote pale ulipo unapotuteka sikio ndani ya studio you are with me, Imani, and I say thank you so much for turning to our program today, this evening. I hope you are doing very well. I hope you are having peace and peace of mind anywhere you are. And of course, today is a Sabbath. I would just like to say thank you to each one of you who is watching us, and who will also be watching us as well. So today we're going to have our program as we do every single day. We have a lot of things we're going to be covering, especially the news here and there about Africa, the current situation in Africa, how is Africa doing, and things like that. So the music you are listening to was Saida Kaloli. Saida Kaloli from Tanzania. It's a little traditional music. Now, so what we're going to do today, where we're going to start? Yes. So we're going to start from our Pan-African calendar, where we have Mr. This month of December, of course, we have Mr. Stephen Biko. Stephen Biko was among Pan-Africanists, but also that's possibly where you get the name Ubuntu, which is very common nowadays, but he came from possibly his name was Bantu. Stephen Biko was born in December 18th, and then he died on September. He was born on December 18th. So today was supposed to be, this month is supposed to be his birthday. He was a anti-apartheid activist, ideologist, and African nationalist, also African socialist. He was a forefront of grassroots anti-apartheid campaign known as Black Consciousness Movement during the late 60s. So he died in 1977. So that is Stephen Biko. A lot of people, of course, most of you guys, you already know who is Stephen Biko. So we are going to remember him in this month as his effort actually trying to fight for Tanzanian people or South African, and he was, of course, assassinated by the apartheid government. As you know, that they did that, and they get away with it, by the way. So anyways, that is who we have on Pan-African calendar. And from there then we will be able to continue with another program that is coming ahead of us. So let me give you the music here, and then I'll be right back.
Osby, DNB, Saida Karoli. Nabyutse mu gitondo njya gushakisha, ngeze mu kazi ngo byicanze, garuka iwanjye mu rugo, sanga umugore ngo yahukanye, ngo njye mbaze nde, Saida ngo ngire nte.
Uwezi amini inachotokea, uwezi amini inachotokea, hata kwa macho kuona, hata kwa macho kuona. Wenye pesa wote nimewashiti, wenye magali na majumba nimewashiti.
Try to trust me, baby. I wanna be undercover lady. Mapuga mu rukundo ni kawaida. Simgizera baby. Mapuga mu ukunda amafaranga. Slow niko bize na yachanga. Nimekupenda mwenye hujanipa samba. Hata ukinichambua kama karanga. Mimi ni lover.
Ni pesa zika wapi? Mwenye pesa ongei. Mbala katiru saki. Mbona na yeye anazo. amenipa kidogo kaning'alisha, amenipa kidogo kaning'alisha baby. Pesa ni nini?
Zaidi ya mapenzi.
Nauliza pesa ni nini?
Zaidi ya mapenzi.
Pesa ni nini?
Zaidi ya mapenzi.
Nauliza pesa ni nini?
Zaidi ya mapenzi.
Ayagala mudundo, ogo mwana ayagala mudundo. Ayagala mudundo, ogo mwana ayagala mudundo. Watabaki kuongea bula, watasema wanakupenda huku hakuna. Wanajidai wana pesa na mfukoni hawana topa.
Everyday hustle, sitojali hata nikitokwa jasho, labda nitapata kesho, hatutoshinda njaa tena ghetto. Wendo my hit song kwenye ringtone, twende love song baby, wengine wala misi on, you're my only one, japo sio don baby.
Mensen vinden liefde in geld, ik vind liefde in de natuur. Als ik veel geld zou hebben, zal ik de armen helpen. Dat wat voor mij, dat telt. Ik weet niet hoe jij het ziet, verdriet van mensen kun je ook niet met geld genezen, vriend. Eentje vindt die echt om je geven is tegenwoordig moeilijk te vinden. Het gaat om uiterlijk en zoveel mogelijk liegen en seksistische shit waar ik niet achter zit. Maar ik val ook voor dit, de shit, ik ben zeker niet heilig. Ik ben hard op weg om me snel te genezen, huh? Ik wil niemand zien lijden door geld. Wat vind jij ervan? Je weet ook hoe het beter kan. Liefde wil iedereen, yeah. Laten we de wereld beter maken. Beter nu dan later.
Pesa ni nini?
Zaidi ya mapenzi.
Nauliza pesa ni nini?
Zaidi ya mapenzi.
Pesa ni nini?
Zaidi ya mapenzi.
Nauliza pesa ni nini?
Zaidi ya mapenzi.
Ayagala mudundo, ogo mwana ayagala mudundo. Ayagala mudundo, ogo mwana ayagala mudundo.
Yes, so that was it for the music. Now we're gonna go towards another program here. We're gonna start with the news what happened in Africa for the past few weeks now. We're gonna be covering some of the news in general, but also not only in Africa and outside of Africa as well. So the biggest news actually for this past 2 weeks is Somalia joining East Africa community. That is possibly the most of hit news, maybe if you did not know, but it was reported that Somalia is now a member of East Africa community. So Somalia to join East Africa community is maybe it has bring a lot of discussion on table. As you may know, Somalia tried to join East Africa community before, but the community did not allow Somalia to be a member for possibly, I think this was my second time they tried or third time they have been trying, and eventually President of Burundi, Evariste Ndayishimiye, who was a chairperson of East Africa community, definitely decided to put Somalia on board when he was leaving, because now the chairperson for East Africa community is President of South Sudan, Mr. Salva Kiir. So, and that also you need to remember that this is the first time South Sudan holding chair person for the East Africa community, but South Sudan has been a member of the East Africa community since 2014, if I'm not mistaken, or 2016, one of those two. But so now, first of all, let's discuss why is Somalia have been, or the countries have been reluctant to allow allow Somalia to join the community. Why has been now willing? The community has now been willing to allow Somalia to join access to the market, because a lot of people when they join, a lot of countries when they join the community like that, they have there is target, and the target most of the time is actually based on the market and what is gonna benefits and so on. So one thing you need to know is that when Somalia applied before, so when Somalia applied before, because they did apply, as I said, it was not accepted. Later, Congo DRC, which applied after that, it was able to join East Africa community, while Somalia was rejected. So that was one of the things that took place. But also, Somalia, it was pushed off, and then it was not allowed to join East Africa community. So why are these countries, the East Africa community, did not want absolutely to allow Somalia like that until when it took Somalia to apply for 2 times? There is a few things you need to understand here. And among of those is the fact that Somalia is a non-stable country. And so when Somalia was applying to join the East Africa community, there was always questions around when it comes to the idea of terrorism. So that is number one. That was the question number one. Number two, it was the community of Somalians as well, because Kenya and Somalia, which they are neighbor countries, they always have some not going well situation or neighboring countries. That was also another thing, because if you talk about the peace and security, of course, Somalia is maybe the worst one, but also DRC Congo is not at peace either. So why then will they allow Somalia, not allow Somalia in, but they allow Congo in, which is always having wars, and especially in Eastern Congo, as you already know. So the decision was made is that because Congo, even though it have wars, but is the wars are inside the Congo, it may not go outside of Congo that easily. But Somalia wars, because it's said that there is terrorists, it may go outside of Somalia and maybe make impact on the whole region in general. Because, as you know, East Africa community is actually the best performing bloc in Africa when it comes to the movement of people and goods, the visa restrictions, in many areas. Even the Swahili language as well is of course is more is the only bloc that has its own language, you can say, or African language that they are using. So East Africa community is more strong compared to ECOWAS or SADC and the other ones. But so that was the reason why they the first time they heard Somalia to join the community. Now, what is going to happen then is that East Africa community have already designated the country to the countries, all of them, to actually fight terrorists, and I think they are planning to send troops to Somalia to be able to take care of those the fighters or the terrorism in those countries. So I think that is one of the step forward that they're gonna be trying to do to fix Somalia, this peace and security, which I don't know how they're gonna do that, because even the East Africa community cannot fix the problem in the DRC Congo. There is a news I found out that they are trying to send back the military that were sent to DRC Congo to go back to their own countries, because it seems like they cannot fix DRC Congo peace or peace situation. So I don't know how they're gonna be able to do that, because the terrorists has been very strong in the area of Somalia for quite a minute now, since 1960s. So I don't know how they're going to be able to do that, but that is the first agenda or the mission of East Africa community to Somalia. I did not hear absolutely about the idea of maybe Kiswahili. I didn't hear that, but maybe it's gonna come in, because anytime East Africa, any time country join East Africa community, Kiswahili is also being pushed forward. So anyways, let me leave you with this speech from Somalian president and the other leaders as well, so that you may hear what they have to say during the program of welcoming Somalia to East Africa community.
That solidified Somalia's place in the East African community. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud making his way to the high table during the 23rd Ordinary Summit of the Heads of State held in Arusha.
Our journey to this day has been one of resilience, perseverance, and enduring belief in the power of regional unity and cooperation. As Somalia joins the East African community, we are not merely entering a regional bloc, but we are joining a family of nations.
We now have an extra 15 million people, or thereabout, who will become members of this great family. As I congratulate Somalia, let me congratulate the other 7 members of this great organization. The East African community today is the most integrated, the most progressive economic community in our continent.
Tumefurahi pia kwa Mheshimiwa Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, Rais wa Jamhuri ya Somalia, ameweza kujumuika nasi leo katika mkutano huu. Somalia ni mbia wetu muhimu na tutaendelea kushirikiana nao.
But if you say you want prosperity, the question is, where will the prosperity come from? According to what we have seen, prosperity cannot come from aid from foreigners, cannot come from handouts from government. It comes from a family or a company or an individual producing a good or a service and selling it. You produce a good or a service and somebody buys it. If more people buy from you, then you become prosperous. Therefore, you cannot talk of prosperity in Africa without talking of market integration.
This time, Somalia was successful in its bid to join the bloc after a failed attempt in 2012. Back then, internal conflict with militant group Al-Shabaab and an unstable legal and political environment that partner states see as a
EAC-led process on restoration of peace and security in Eastern DRC from the facilitator and the force commander of the regional force. One, noted the DRC will not extend the mandate of the EAC regional force beyond 8 December 2023, but directed that the CDFs of EAC and the SADC and DRC to meet before 8 December 2023.
The regional bloc established the peacekeeping force to create a buffer between the government forces and M23 rebel group
you have here what the presidents have to say about Somalia joining East Africa community, and we welcome Somalia to be a family member, and possibly Somalia will make some change, and from that reason, now East Africa is the only possibly block that goes from one side of the ocean to another one, from one side of the ocean to another one. So now you have Somalia be a member. So it makes Somalia, it makes the East Africa community to touch from Indian Ocean or African Ocean, maybe that's the good one to say, whole way to the other side, to the other side of the ocean. So I'm trying to find maybe the picture maybe that will demonstrate that, but I don't think I can find one. But anyways, so if you put if you check where is Somalia, which is on East Africa, in the Horn of Africa as well, is a strategic place when it comes to seaport and so on. So East Africa is actually the largest maybe when it comes to the East Coast, but also it does touch completely from one ocean to another. So let me see if I can find something here. I can't find any map here. There is no, oh, here it is. I think, yeah, someone posted, finally. Yeah, so now you can see that Somalia, from Horo to Somalia, and then you go to Kenya, Uganda, DRC, whole way to the west coast on Atlantic. So Somalia makes very big impacts on East Africa community. But now there is rumor that is Ethiopia gonna join this community or not? As president of Kenya, William Ruto said that the East Africa community is the best performing bloc in the African continent, which is actual fact. I think I already mentioned that too. So will Ethiopia join the bloc? They will be able to join the bloc, and if they do so, I think that will make that would be game changing maybe for the bloc, but we don't know. Anyways, some rumors say that the community have the Ethiopia asked to join the community, which I don't think so, but I haven't heard anything officially. But if Ethiopia will join the community, then now you are talking, because obviously that will make the community to be among the most populous when it comes to population. I think East Africa community now holds 300 million population. So for that reason, I think, I think that that will be very good thing for the community. But we don't know if Ethiopia will be able to join. So that being said, we welcome Somalia to our family, as Museveni, he said, and President of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, also she said. So we welcome Somalia to our family, and let's see what Somalia is gonna do to make the East Africa community change. But also, as you may know, Somalians are already in most of African countries. So there is no possibly many countries in Africa where you don't find Somalians doing business there. So Somalia has already been integrated in East Africa, especially if you talk about like Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, South Africa is not in East Africa community, but even other countries as well, like South Sudan and Ethiopia, Somalians are already there. So as people, they already been part of East Africa community. But now we're gonna see what is gonna bring to the community in general. So that being said, that is Somalia joining East Africa community. Let me leave you with this music. I'll be right back. We're gonna be discussing more topics about Africa for this week. Thank you.
Uvyo wangu ndo umenifanya nitoke zangu mjini na kwenda Sakamike kijijini. Kulingana Dar es Salaam ya lenkajiwa sitopata mkaliomba kilio. Wajuliza washenga kapata, wakasema kwamba wendo tonifaa. Nami nikajisi nimepata, bila kutofauti na rembo walio. Vile umefundwa na madini ya Kiafrika, mheshima mavazi unayovaa. Nami nikajua utobadilika, hata tukiwa da. Tabasamu lako la upole, heshima na mapozi ya kale. Sikujua kwamba mjini ni shule, kwamba ungebadilika. Tabasamu lako la upole, heshima na mapozi ya kale. Sikujua kwamba mjini ni shule, kwamba ungebadilika. Dar es Salaam, Dar es Salaam, kila napotazama mimi nakosa, inanifanya nikumbuke tukiwa dom. Leo umeniacha. Dar es Salaam, Dar es Salaam, kila napotazama mimi nakosa, inanifanya nikumbuke tukiwa dom. Leo umeniacha. Dar es Salaam, 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 Dar es Salaam. Niba Mungu kubota tene, fadhila zote lakupa, ukaona bora wene. Tenda wema wene, akutendaye simtende. Yale yote lotenda kwako, ukaona bora wene. Kimapenzi ukabadilika, wenye mali wakakuteka, ukasahau ulipotoka. Ulipofika Dar es Salaam, kwa magari ukababaika, kwa starehe ukadanganyika, penzi langu kalitupa. Ulipofika Dar es Salaam, umbile lako la pole, heshima na mapozi ya kale. Ukujua kwamba mjini ni shule, ukabadilika. Dar es Salaam, Dar es Salaam, kila napotazama mimi nakosa, inanifanya nikumbuke tukiwa dom. Leo umeniacha. Dar es Salaam, Dar es Salaam, kila napotazama mimi nakosa, inanifanya nikumbuke tukiwa dom. Leo umeniacha. Dar es Salaam, 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 Dar es Salaam.
Yes, I'm back again, of course.
In the heart of Malawi.
Of course, with another news. We're going to be discussing about Malawi. Which Malawi have sent 221 young people to Israel, who is claimed to be them going to work as in farming sector in Israel. So there is people are actually opposing that why is Malawi sending people to Israel to work there during this time, and also sending young people. So obviously I think that Let me first give you example or the background of the country Malawi so that you may understand what is Malawi. So Malawi is a very small country, landlocked country inside inside the south part of Africa, maybe you can say, which is border with Tanzania in north, Mozambique in the west, Zimbabwe in Mozambique in, that would be in the east. Oh, sorry, yeah, Mozambique in the east, and then Zambia in west, and actually that's it. So there is Tanzania in the north, and Zambia in the west, and Mozambique in the east. And then this country is the background of it is that the current president of Zimbabwe, Malawi, pardon, is Chakwera, Lazarus Chakwera, who was actually a pastor before he became president. So that should ring for you guys if you have watched the documentary about how African pastors or African Christians, most of those Pentecostal churches, they are actually Zionists. So if you haven't watched the documentary, please find that on Africa Stream video. It teaches you very well how did African Christians become Zionists instead to become Christian actually. So that is Malawi. Now, recently, 2 weeks ago, the Israel government gave money to 600 million to Malawi. And that money, it did not actually mention exactly what it's going to be doing or what was directed to do in Malawi. But it seemed like he went to the pockets of the president of Malawi, 60 million US dollar. So that's the money was sent to Malawi. And then after that, after 2 weeks after that, Malawi took young people in the night, hiding 221 young people, and put them in the airplane in the night and send them to Israel, claiming that they are going to work in agriculture. I think they say it's coffee harvesting. I don't know what they're harvesting there, but anyways, so then the news came out that these people were taken in the night in airplane, and then they were taken to Israel. But most of African actually have said that possibly this is not. These people are not going there for working in agriculture. Instead, is they are going to be in war zone. They are going to be fighting. And be remembered that Malawi is sending young people there, while Tanzania actually lost one of the students who was in Israel studying. I don't know what he was studying about. I think it's chemistry or something like that. So. And people are pointing out that, hey, this Malawi is possibly sending people or troops to fight against Hamas and in Israel. But who knows? Maybe they are going there for employment. But if Malawi is very good, why don't they send those? Why don't they create jobs inside Africa instead to take our young people to Israel, where is actually there is a possibility that they can be even attacked or destroyed rather than sending them there. So this has raised a lot of questions among African people. Why is Malawi sending her own people this time to Israel? and I think it's understandable that everyone is trying to figure out why this time is the time to send people to go to Malawi, to go to Israel at this moment, because everyone knows that this is not a safe place to go to at this time. So anyways, that is...
The tale unfolds, weaving a narrative of concern and discontent. President Lazarus Chakwera finds himself under scrutiny, as the cloak is lifted on his government's clandestine decision to dispatch 221 young individuals to toil on Israeli farms in an overnight airlift, facilitated by an Israeli Airbus A321-251 plane. The air buzzes with discontent among many Malawians, especially as this revelation surfaces hot on the heels of a recent $60 million aid infusion from Israel to Malawi, shrouding the government's actions in controversy. Well, Malawi's Labor Ministry, Wezi Kira, the principal secretary, unfolds a narrative that strives to justify an ambitious strategy. It's a vision, he contends, a deliberate plan aimed at kindling hope for Malawi's youth by sending them to distant lands, even as far as the sun-drenched fields of Israel. He emphasizes the dual benefits of the program, noting that a portion of the wages would cover living expenses in Israel, while the remainder would be remitted to personal accounts in Malawi, thereby bolstering foreign exchange reserves. He also emphasizes that Malawian youth participating in the labor program are not enlisted to fight in Israel's conflict with the Palestinian group, Hamas. Instead, they will be employed in certified and approved locations deemed safe and suitable for work. However, within this narrative lies a tapestry of unspoken complexities: the economic ebb and flow of Malawi, the dreams of its youth seeking opportunities abroad, and the subtle nuances of justifying a strategy in the face of potential criticism. As whispers of discontent echo through Malawi, a shadow falls upon the government's dealings with Israel. A labor export deal, concealed behind a veil of secrecy, draws sharp criticism. Concerns emerge like ripples in troubled waters. Apprehensions voiced about potential risks to citizens amidst the ongoing conflict between Israel and the Palestinian Hamas group. In this arena of scrutiny, Gift Trapens, the chairman of the Human Rights Defenders Coalition, a stalwart civil rights group, steps into the spotlight. He questions the opacity shrouding the agreement with Israel, casting doubt on the transparency of this labor export deal. As the scrutiny intensifies,
Yes, so we are back again, and then now we're gonna be going to West Africa, where we're gonna be discussing the conflict between preview French colonized countries and, of course, France. So the preview French colonized countries, which are Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Those three, being specific, they are the ones who are being pressing France to actually release the feet on neck. As you are, I think I said this before, that France is practicing what they call pact of continuation of colonization, which is pretty much like another, what was his name? Kwame Nkrumah called neo-colonialism, which is killing a lot of African countries actually. And then the new colonialism is actually, it's almost like open air prison, where you don't know that you are being colonized, but you are colonized. So that means that you are under colonization. Your systems, financial systems, is colonial systems, your education systems is colonial system, your immigration system is a colonial system, your foreign policies is all colonial systems, your entertainment or media and communication systems, colonial systems. So almost everything, diplomacy, all of that is colonial systems that you are practicing, but you think you are free just because you can sing your own national anthem of your so-called country, which actually is not even a country, because what you call country, it was just designed or drawn by pen with colonizers who give you the borders, and then now you have to watch that, and you call that national security. So now those three countries, they are even possibly Chad too is coming inside. We lost Gabon, but so they are accusing France to be the part of terrorism that is going on in Sub-Sahara, in many Sub-Sahara countries, West Sahara, or Saharan countries in Africa, which are Niger, Chad, Sudan, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea. I don't know if Guinea is part of that, but anyways, it was Sahara too. Don't forget, even Nigeria as well. It's been impacted by those terrorism organizations. So now, Mali actually have took that to the next level and accusing or pointing out that France is a part of that, which everyone already know. This is not something that people don't know, because this these terrorism organizations actually came to be after France have assassinated who? The president of Libya, Muammar Gaddafi, who was assassinated by France. Specifically, of course, Obama also was part of that, and Hillary Clinton, but France was the one who took the lead to bomb and destroy Libya. Libya is a sister country now. There is no country called Libya anymore. So after that, now you start to see terrorism growing in Saharan region or in those countries, but before that, there was no such thing called terrorism to that extent. So you can definitely say that terrorism in North Africa, in the North and and the Saharan countries, it came from France. People can possibly say that, or it came from the lack of destruction of Libya, led to the presence of terrorism in those countries. So Mali has been decided to take that to its own, and then accusing the country France to be the one who is actually sponsoring terrorism organizations that are actually killing people in those countries. It's not only one, as you may remember. What was that? Chad president, he was assassinated by terrorism. I think it's 2 or 3 years ago. But obviously, there was nothing pretty much done about that. So, anyways, that is that is about it when it comes to the West African countries who are trying to get away, to stay away from France. They are trying to pretty much to free themselves. So that being said, what should we learn from this? Obviously, you know, if you want to know your friend, you see them in time of need. You see them in time of such a situation like those. But many African countries actually have not voiced themselves or have not said anything when it comes to the situation in those countries, except of course I think it was Uganda that was able to speak, but Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Guinea, they have been fighting on their own. There is definitely not a voice like from other countries that are supporting them. That shows you how much we are divided and we don't want actually ourselves to progress. So let me leave you with this this music. I'll be back in closing up with our program today. But don't forget to check on us on social media, of course. Swahili for Africa on YouTube and on Telegram, Instagram and Telegram as well, Swahili for Africa. WhatsApp is a New Africa Network. If you don't mind, you should always join us WhatsApp group. We have a very good, strong family where we discuss so many things that would possibly be, that will interest you. So, and our email address is, of course, newafricanetwork@gmail.com. You can always send us any question you may have. We will be able to answer you regarding on anything you may have to ask. So I'll be back in closing the program, and I appreciate for you to watch or to stay with us. Let me give you this music, then I'll be right back. Thank you so much. I think I'm gonna leave this music alone. This was the music from Congo, Ipupa. You know, the Congolese, by the way, they are very good on music. Ipupa. So they are very good on music. I wish they were very good also on protecting the country, but that's not the case. So anyways, I don't want to offend my fellow audience from Congo, but that's as a fact. From the death of Patrice Lumumba until today, Congo have no peace. So it's unfortunately, but that is true. So now, moving on, what we have now is the last information I'll talk to you about is about reparation. Reparation is something we keep our eyes on all the time because it does have very big role to play in global politics and especially also on Black people in general. So why do we talk about reparation? It's because reparation, once it starts to happen in the US, it will definitely happen in Haiti, and it will definitely happen in Jamaica, and it will definitely happen in all other countries. France will definitely have to pay reparation, and the British will also definitely have to pay reparation. So it's gonna be something that is very interesting to see. In Brazil, reparation, in Cuba, reparation, in Argentina, reparation, in Venezuela, reparation. So we don't know how it's gonna go, but that is why it's a very interesting topic, and a lot of people are actually pushing against this reparation, especially people who are not African. They are definitely pushing against this reparation because one single country do set up reparation is gonna shake the whole world, and everyone is gonna start to say, "Hey, we need reparation too." I think it was last time I was hearing some in the US. They say, "Hey, this reparation is only for Black people who are descendants of slaves in the US." But that's fine. No one have any question with that, definitely. But they don't understand that once that happens, black people in other countries, Trinidad and elsewhere, they are going to go ahead and start to call for the same thing. So, and for that reason, is also been politicized in inside the U.S. That the reparation, there is a lot of reparation talks. Maybe you can call that anti-reparation, especially people who are white. Some of them, they are using that as a political cause, but some of those white people, they don't want that to happen. They say, oh, get over it. It's been 400 years or 200 years or whatever it is, get over it. But they still sign the check to go to Ukraine every single week. They're still signing check to go to Israel every single time. And a lot of those who are signing for the support of Israel, they are actually black people who will not sign or who will not push for reparation. Instead, they are pushing for the support of Israel. I don't know if anyone have checked how most of members of Congress in the U.S., if you don't support Israel, you may not be able to be a member of Congress or you cannot possibly hold a big office in the U.S. So, but our black people, they don't sign any check or they don't sign any support for Africa, but they always support Israel and so on. So we don't have any problem to support Israel, but you should support Israel after you have supported Africa because you are African America. So anyways, so because this reparation is playing a role, especially in 2024 election in the US, things are getting very bad there. One is that the way the system has been treating Trump, I have raised some, people always see if the system oppresses you, people always tend to trust in you. So a lot of people actually are trusting in Trump more than Joe Biden, and that makes a shift when it comes to the election and things like that. So Trump is ahead of Joe Biden and actually everyone in general for his reading in I can't remember the word to use here, but forget about that. But anyways, he's reading on
in the polls.
Very good, thank you so much. Yeah, so he's reading in the polls compared to Joe Biden, and the reason is because black people are looking on Joe Biden, signing all those checks to every country except themselves, black people, or except even African countries as well. And they're like, man, we're not gonna mess with you again. So the black votes is going down, is dwindling down. That leads to the loss in the Democrats pretty much in the polls. And as you know, black people are of course 14% of American votes, but they are very strong. They are the only actual group that is strong that can decide to vote for someone. They've been, of course, under Democratic plantation, as someone keeps saying that. I think it's Dr. Mark Johnson who said that. But now they are coming, they say, hey, these people have been voting for them for centuries now, and there is nothing's happening to us. So for that reason, people start to see maybe Republicans should do something about reparation, which is what they are maybe trying to do, to see if they can do something about reparations, so that will release them to maybe to be able to win election. Whereas Democrats seem, I said Republicans, also it's Democrats. So whereas Democrats now, they are actually, because it seems like eventually Trump is gonna be able to win election, I think, is my opinion. But by the way, me personally, I'm Pan-Africanist. I believe in Africa, and I think all black people in America should not partake in election unless unless is they have created their own political party, and maybe decide to join another together with either Republican or Democrats, but with special conditions. Otherwise, Black people should not go to vote for anyone, because it's just waste of time. It's not. There is nothing's gonna come in from them voting for anyone. So, anyways, let's check this out from Florida. They are pushing anti or banning reparation for African American.
Could get a chance to decide whether to ban reparations for descendants of slaves next year under a joint resolution filed in the Florida Senate.
New at 6, Action News Jack's Jake Stofan reports the bill was filed despite the fact that there's been no serious attempt to pass reparations in the state.
Well, the joint resolution would prohibit the state or any local government here in Florida from paying reparations to the descendants of slaves. The Republican sponsor argues it's a way to prevent the idea from gaining traction here in the Sunshine State, but Florida Democrats argue it's just red meat for the GOP base. A joint resolution filed by State Senator Blaise Ingoglia would prohibit the state and local governments from paying reparations to the descendants of people who were enslaved prior to the ratification of the 13th Amendment. Ingoglia argues it's meant to prevent slavery reparations from gaining traction in the Sunshine State.
Slavery reparations aren't the answer. It's investing in Black and brown communities on things like education and infrastructure and opportunities. And that's what I think we should be talking about.
Jacksonville State Representative Angie Nixon, on the other hand, points out there have been no serious efforts or even any bills filed seeking to implement slavery reparations in Florida.
It's simply a bill to rile up the base so that they can raise money and they can distract from their failing leadership in Tallahassee.
Ingoglia countered there have been bills filed at the national level and in other states like California pushing for reparations. By putting a ban in the state constitution, he argues it would stifle any future efforts to do the same here in Florida.
Bad ideas that are proposed in other states seem to work its way into other states, such as Florida. This is a proactive way of making sure that we take the prospect of slavery reparations off the table.
But Nixon argues Republicans' time would be better spent focusing on issues currently impacting Floridians' pocketbooks and quality of life.
This property insurance crisis, this auto insurance crisis, the fact that our schools are hemorrhaging teachers, and the fact that people can no longer afford Florida.
Now, if the joint resolution is passed by to
decide whether to.
Yeah, you hear that. So anyways, that was from Florida. Of course, that is Fox News. Brother Eugene, I see you are online. Do you have anything you want to say about that?
Yeah, brother. Hey, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in this evening with the New Africa Network. We are broadcasting live from Ethiopia and also right here in the United States, Charlotte, North Carolina. You are our number one fans, and we are here to present to you the news all across the African diaspora that will help benefit us to make better decisions and what we're consumed with from a day-to-day aspect. Shout out to Brother Imani Jean Paul, reporting live right there in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Brother, we appreciate the information and the dynamic information that you're being broadcast for us and putting this dynamic program together tonight. Is certainly important for us to make informative decisions, but it's also to help us to keep up with the times and what's going on globally. Yeah, so reparations have certainly been a big issue. It not just only exists here in the United States, but it is also now a movement that has captured the African world globally, and those individuals, ancestors who have been affected by slavery and the atrocities of a modern day time. And let's get this clear. We're not talking about going all the way back to the 1800s or the 1700s. We're talking about more recent things of this modern day time where we've experienced atrocities, things like being economically deprived, being deprived of job opportunities, being deprived of business opportunities, being deprived of today's political opportunities and those forces that have been put into place to help stifle the growth of our people. So this is what the New Africa Network is about. We're about continuing to broadcast the information to the people so that the people can make informative decisions to better themselves. So thank you, Brother Monty, and I'll yield the mic. Black Power.
Thank you so much. Yes, so yeah. Now, as I was saying, if you look what Florida is saying, I think Florida has become one of the, I don't think I can say Republican states nowadays, because there is some Republicans who have a fair, how do you call that? Who have a fair thinking that you will not establish policies that will stop reparation. Even though you know definitely that you have benefits from slavery, is something that Florida itself, I believe that was where the sugarcane was produced and tobaccos, and then you go ahead and you establish policies that will stop anyone who will want to know or to have to require or to ask for reparation. So Florida, I think it was last time even there was some issues on Florida trying with black people. I don't remember exactly what was, but
yeah, that was of course the race-based theory had to do with the educational piece of learning Black history and in the school system.
Very good. Yeah. So Florida has become like one of the states. I don't really know what's going on there, but I think also this is because Black people are not organized as well. Even those who are there, you know, for instance, the racist states used to be Alabama, you know, Mississippi and so on, but now they are not like that. Florida, it seems like, is the one that's taking leading on that. Later on, maybe we're gonna experience, if Trump win election, definitely I think a lot of Black people should be able to wait for something different. And I always call Black people to arm themselves. I always say that I think self-defense is one of the key to be able to survive in the future coming in the U.S. So and Florida is leading in that. It's been talking everywhere, but also when you look states like California and New York, where Black people are most of time, they have lost principles and values because I don't know how to put that, but when white people look on Black people in general, they see people who are destroying culture, people who are just like behaving no way. Some of them, they call them, maybe they may say those are communists or something like that. People who they think like Black people don't love America, which of course, you cannot have a country that took you for slavery, because no one, a lot of people who are Black in the U.S., they did not go there for just to move to there. They come from by force. But still, Black people does love America because they work for it. You know, it's like you build a house and you say you don't love it. It's you build it.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, we often tell many of our people that we're networking with in the political education arena around Black history, all these nice, fine cities that you fly into here in the United States, and all these towns and little towns that you've come privy to, that was built by African American Foundation Black America. That was built by no one else but those people. Those are our ancestors. And so, yes, we have to pay homage to them because of the hard work that they put in for free labor for almost 200, 300 years. That's getting over a lot. That's like almost 400 years of free labor can put anyone in a very powerful position. And for the descendants of these ancestors being a part of that, yes, they must pay reparations for that, because it is what they are privy to today. All the beautiful and nice things that have been set in place for them to take advantage of. And the people need to know this. It's not an uproar of we are people who are coming to keep asking for these things and measures to take place in our day and time, but it's only the right thing to do. And when they do better in this category, as far as the racism, systematic racism that has been taking place for many years, this nation will do much better. If it doesn't do better, then we're going to be looking at the fall of Babylon, and that is taking place all around the world today. When you see these wars that are rising up, it's because the people themselves are dissatisfied with what the governments have been doing and how the governments have been treating their people. But let's take in mind of this: the government is the people, and the people who make the decisions are in these government agencies. There are leaders that have not done the people any type of well-being. And so there, as a new breed leader, African generation, it is our responsibility to make sure that the leaders that we elect are held accountable. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Definitely, that is one of the biggest things that Black people we have. It's always because we are not organized. The reason why I keep losing is because we are not organized. As I was saying, for instance, if all Black people were on one code when it comes to reparation, trust me on this, even in Florida, they will have no other option except to just go and pay for reparation, because they are talking nonsense, by the way. You say you don't want a reparation, but how much money is US sending to Egypt each year? That's only Egypt. How much money just US sent to Iran? What was the country? Ukraine. Just this 1 year or 2 years, this year, possibly this year only. So why don't they pay reparation for Black people? You know, and I was saying that Black people in the US, because of how much indoctrination and destruction has come to, white people, some of those conservative white people, they see Black people to be the destruction of America. You know, if you want to destroy America, you want to kill what they call Christianity, you have to bring the Black people. If you want to promote homosexuality, it's Black people are doing that, which is absolutely not true, because the history is evidence that people who've been doing these homosexuality things are actually white. It's not Black people. If you can look in history of US or another country. So to say that Black people, they are the provision of American community is not true. And for that reason, I think anyone who makes sense as Black, as white people, they should be able to let Black people get reparation. And then at least so you can have at least something. You say, hey, sorry for that, you know. You don't just say sorry and then you pay nothing, you know. That is one of the problem I have with Nelson Mandela, actually, that those people who are on apartheid, which are still doing that in South Africa, they actually just get away with everything. Not only that they were not put in jail, but they did not even give the resources that they have took by force from Black people from the land, like for instance, or the businesses, the companies. So I think we Black people must take this very serious when it comes to anyone who does as bad. You don't just say, hey, I forgive you. No, you have to pay. At least you have to, you can say, hey, sorry, that was wrong. But you must at least, do something. You don't just say, "Hey, sorry," and then you get away with everything. Though that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So the reparation is very big and very important in Black people community in US, because it's gonna trigger everyone to come on the same stage. Not only that, but also other people, other countries, they are gonna be able to take place and then ask for reparation. That's another thing. But also other countries, they're gonna ask for that. But election is gonna also be based on reparation. So reparation is gonna play a role in 2024 election in the U.S., but also, of course, it's going to be another. It's gonna be also another thing that white people don't want black people to have. So they are willing to do any other thing but except to pay reparation for black people. So I think
That's right. That's right. And apologies don't make repairs. Money do. And you give that money to the people and let them decide what they want to do with it. Anybody else's business, that is not your business to understand what it is that we need that money to do. But it certainly, it has a lot to do with many things that have happened over the years. You know, a lot of land has been snatched from the black community. A lot of political and personal atrocities have happened to the people. And even up to today's time period, we still see that is going on in our today's time with police brutality and the high incarceration rate of black people, and specifically black men in this country, taken away from their families for many years for, you know, just small minor crimes that they have committed. But certainly there needs to be a reform. And the only time you get reform is coming with repair. And all of that is all factored into one agenda, and that is reparations to the people.
yes, and I hear that in Florida they were saying, why don't we do our schools systems? Why don't we do our living, fixing it? That is not for black people only. So that is definitely not. You cannot replace that with reparation because that's for everyone. The white people, Stephen Cochrane, he used to say that the white people, they are gonna take all of that. So the white man is gonna take that and give it to his wife, and then it's gonna be the end of it. That is not specific for black people only. We want something that. You say something?
It's not just monetarily things that we're asking for. It's not just the money itself. And repair comes in many forms and fashions. And you're talking about the magnitude of ADOS, the African descendants of those enslaved people in modern day times. We are looking for more equity opportunities in the housing aspect, land ownership and business ownership. Education is a key important piece of us leveling up, but also just trying to pay catch up from after being disconnected for more than 400 years. That's a lot of catch up to be played with the rest of the world. And we have contributed much to this nation here in the United States, and especially when they've been collecting black tax dollars for many centuries now. So when we speak about reparations, yeah, we want some of our tax money that we've been putting in. We don't want our tax money to go to wars, genociding and killing people, and providing devices of destruction to go across the world and killing people all in the name of capitalism. No, this is not. It's certainly what the earth should be about, and we're going to be holding those people accountable. If we have to separate and start our own political party in this nation, then so be it. That's what the economic freedom fighters had to do in South Africa. They understood the dynamics of a no-win situation. The Republican and the Democratic Party, they have been certainly volleyballing us back and forth for many years. And now as a woke generation of black people, well, we see that our future is at hand, and we're driving ourselves on the point of futurism. It's about survival, and that's what it's only about.
Yes. So, anyways, but also if this reparation happen without going through the fightings, it will be the first one of its own kind, because there has not been anything like that historically in a place without fighting. So it will be its own, or it will be on its own kind to have reparation for this much people without war being involved. But I doubt that there would be anything, because I don't think America, US will be able to give reparation to black people. I don't think so. I don't really think so. even if they do so, they will maybe do in a way that they're gonna still get the money from the black people, because obviously U.S. has been, especially U.S. has been trying to just destroy black people in general. This has been like that. If you look from slavery,
We certainly are not too far away from the Palestinian people. The same thing that they are experiencing now, we have certainly experienced that here in the United States ourselves in the past, and it's still going on quietly, very quietly and secretly. And so, yes, there's things. We've come a long way as a group and a collective group of people here in this nation. But for certainly, we still have a long way to go, and we have a lot of catching up to do. That's for sure.
Yeah. So we definitely, I strongly believe that black people, if they tied together, they would be able to get something. But if they've been in like Republican Democrats and then this and that and Pan-Africanists and whatever it is, they will not get anything. The government is not gonna give them anything. Definitely, it will. They will always go in. They will be member of political party, caucus, black caucus, whatever it is, and then signing check to go to Israel, and not signing check to go to their own family or bank account. So, but even when we talk about reparation, there is so many cities in the land that were owned by black people that were put underwater. This one, they decided, this one, they are very crazy, by the way. You take a city that is owned by where black people are, and you put water or how do you call that, river or something, and then the city is finished. So I think if that's the case, if it's a reparation, I think those things also will have to be addressed as well. I don't know how that they're gonna do to, if they destroyed, like there's more than, I think it's 10 cities that were actually run by water. They just decide to remove everyone and then to dismiss the city and put water there, and now you have something like swimming pool, I don't know, lake or river, something like that. So all those things will have to be put in context when it comes to reparation. But that being said, I think that black people themselves, they need to organize. I think is Malcolm X who said that if you organize more, you get more done, and if you don't organize, you get nothing done. So black people need to have one voice. That's number one. Number two, they need to come together regardless of the differences and struggle for reparation, because that will open door for our fellow Africans who are outside of Africa, especially in Jamaica and Trinidad and Haiti. Haiti is the special one. I hold very strongly Haiti. The country Haiti is one of my dear country. I haven't get a chance to visit it, but that's my dear country because that's the symbol of Black revolution. That's the symbol of Black independence, as you can see in the first constitution of Haiti, which was made in 1801. So you can see that that is the symbol of and the pride of Black people being independent and liberated. So anyways, that being said, I think I'm gonna have to end my program today on this topic of reparation. So we will be back on next Saturday with different topics we're gonna have to be covering, but pretty much we cover a few things about Somalia joining East Africa community and the Mali and France, not only Mali, but the most of West African preview colonized or currently neo-colonized by France. And then we also cover Malawi with sending people to Israel, or is said they are sending them for employment, but it seems like they are sending those young people to go to fight the war that they're not supposed to be fighting. So, and then of course we're closing with reparation for African descendants or African people outside of Africa in American continent. For now, we are talking about United States of America, but later on, other countries will come in. Brother Eugene, I don't know if you have anything to close with.
Yeah, we know certainly we'd like to end the day in this evening's program with thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to donate. Your contributions go far. We are educating and feeding the Black communities worldwide, and that's certainly an important thing that we here at the New Africa Network and the Kiswahili School in Ethiopia, that is what we're here to do. We also like to inform all of you who are tuning in. We're looking forward to having you at the upcoming 2024 Afro Diaspora Political Economic Think Tank Conference to be held at the African Union headquarters in Washington, D.C. Right now, we are still tweaking it, and we have a tentative date of April, but with a backup date of October 2024. This is a very exciting event, and the last event was held in 2019. We had hundreds of brothers and sisters who had came out to sit down to be a part of the think tank and training programs, but it also offered the opportunity for us to dialogue and conversate about some of the things that are affecting our communities where we live at. So we'll keep you in tune, and we hope to see you there. Stay tuned. We'll be back with you this time next week with another topic and maybe even a special guest. We'll see how it goes. And we look forward to having you back on the program this time next week. Stay tuned. Brother Mani, I hand the mic over to you. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much. And as we always say, I am an African regardless of where I was born, my religion, my ethnicity. Africa is my home. God bless Africa. I'm an African. That's our creed. So we will see you on next week. Thank you so much and have a nice evening. If you are in Western countries, here is already in morning. I'm gonna leave you with this music, then that will be the closing of our program. Thank you.